Your Ford just lit up like a Christmas tree. The check engine light is on, the traction control is flashing, and your transmission feels like it's about to fall out onto the highway. You pull into the dealership, already dreading the conversation, and the service advisor gives you that look. You know the one, that this is going to hurt look. They plug in their diagnostic computer, shake their head with practiced concern, and hit you with the estimate. $1,500, maybe $2,000. Could be more once they really get in there. Here's what they're not telling you. In most cases, you don't need any of that. There's a reset procedure that Ford mechanics know about but would rather keep to themselves. Why? Because this free 5-minute trick eliminates the majority of electrical gremlins, sensor issues, and computer glitches that plague modern Ford vehicles. It won't fix everything, obviously. If your engine actually has a hole in it, no reset procedure is going to help. But for the overwhelming majority of dashboard warnings, drivability issues, and mysterious malfunctions, this costs you absolutely nothing and works almost every single time. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this, why it works, and which specific problems it solves. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge that dealerships charge diagnostic fees just to access. Let's get into it. The reality of modern Ford electronics. Before we jump into the actual procedure, you need to understand what's happening inside your Ford. Modern vehicles, especially those built after 2010, are basically computers on wheels. Your Ford has somewhere between 50 and 150 individual computers, depending on the model. These are called modules, and they control everything from your engine timing to your power windows. The PCM controls the powertrain. The BCM handles the body electronics. The ABS module manages your brakes. The HVAC module runs your climate control. The list goes on and on. These modules communicate with each other constantly through something called the CAN bus network, which is essentially a digital highway running through your entire vehicle. When everything is working properly, this system is remarkable. It's what allows your truck to have adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, and fuel economy that would have been impossible 20 years ago. But here's the problem. These modules are running software, and software has bugs. These computers are dealing with voltage fluctuations, temperature extremes, moisture infiltration, and electromagnetic interference. Sometimes they just glitch out. When a module experiences a fault, it doesn't always reset itself. Instead, it stores fault codes, throws up warning lights, and puts the vehicle into various protective modes. Your transmission might limit itself to third gear. Your throttle response might become sluggish. Your four-wheel drive system might refuse to engage. And here's the frustrating part. Sometimes the original problem that caused the fault is already gone, but the module is still freaking out about it. That's where this reset procedure comes in. It forces all these modules to clear their memory, re-establish communication with each other, and start fresh. Trick number 1. The battery disconnect method. The first and most straightforward reset is the battery disconnect method. This is the nuclear option. It cuts power to every single module in your vehicle and forces a complete system reset. Here's exactly how to do it properly, because there's a right way and a wrong way. First, make sure your vehicle is parked safely with the ignition off and the key removed. You want to be on level ground with the parking brake engaged. Pop the hood and locate your battery. On most Fords, it's going to be on the passenger side of the engine bay, but on some models like the Edge or Escape, you might find it tucked behind the wheel well or even in the trunk area. Find your negative battery terminal. It's the one marked with a minus sign and usually has a black cable attached. You're going to need a 10mm socket or wrench in most cases. Loosen the bolt, holding the negative cable to the terminal. You don't need to remove the bolt completely, just loose enough that you can wiggle the cable off. Once it's loose, pull the cable off the terminal and move it away so it's not touching anything metal. This is critical. If that cable touches the terminal or any other metal part while you're doing this procedure, you've accomplished nothing. Now here's the part that most people get wrong. You can't just wait 30 seconds and call it good. For a proper reset, you need to wait at least 15 minutes. 20 minutes is even better. Why so long? Because modern vehicles have capacitors throughout the electrical system that store charge. These capacitors allow certain systems to retain memory and settings. The radio presets, your clock, your seat positions, all that stuff is kept alive by these capacitors for a while even after the battery is disconnected. If you want a true deep reset, you need to wait until those capacitors fully discharge. During this waiting period, here's a pro tip. Press and hold the brake pedal for about 30 seconds. This creates an electrical load that helps drain any residual charge from the system faster. After your 15 to 20 minutes are up, reconnect the negative cable to the battery terminal and tighten it down securely. Make sure it's snug because a loose battery connection will cause all sorts of problems in itself. Now start your vehicle and let it idle for at least 5 minutes. Don't just start it and immediately drive off. The modules need time to reinitialize, relearn their parameters, and re-establish communication with each other. You'll notice the idle might be a little rough for the first minute or two. That's normal. The PCM is relearning its idle control parameters. After 5 minutes of idling, take it for a short drive around the block. Keep it gentle for the first few minutes. What you're doing is allowing the transmission to relearn its shift points and the throttle position sensor to recalibrate. Trick number 2, the key cycle reset. The battery disconnect method is powerful, but it's also somewhat invasive, and you will lose certain settings. There's a gentler approach that works for many issues without requiring you to pop the hood or reset your radio presets. This is called the key cycle reset, and it's particularly effective for dashboard warning lights and drivability concerns. Start with the vehicle completely off. Key out of the ignition if you have a traditional key, or in your pocket if you have push-button start. Get in the vehicle and close all the doors. This matters because the BCM uses door sensors to determine various operational modes. For vehicles with a traditional key, insert the key and turn it to the on position. Don't start the engine. Just turn it to where all the dashboard lights come on. For push-button start vehicles, press the start button without pressing the brake pedal. This puts the vehicle in accessory mode or run mode without actually cranking the engine. Wait 30 seconds in this position. You want to see all the warning lights illuminate on your dashboard. This is important because it forces each module to perform its startup self-test routine. After 30 seconds, turn the key to the off position or press the start button again to turn the system off. Wait another 30 seconds with everything off. Now repeat this entire cycle 5 times. On, wait 30 seconds, off, wait 30 seconds. Do this 5 complete times. Yes, it feels tedious. Yes, it takes about 5 minutes of sitting in your driveway turning the key on and off like you've lost your mind. But this procedure forces the modules to repeatedly cycle through their initialization routines. And during this process, many soft faults and temporary error codes get cleared. After the 5th cycle, start the vehicle normally and let it idle for 3 to 5 minutes. If you had warning lights on before, check if they're still there. In many cases, they'll be gone. If you are experiencing drivability issues like rough shifting or hesitation, take it for a test drive and see if the problem has resolved itself. This key cycle reset is particularly effective for issues related to the throttle body, idle air control, EVAP system, and various sensor communication faults. Trick number 3, the pedal reset procedure. This third method is more specific and targets certain systems directly. It's especially useful for throttle response issues, electronic throttle control problems, and situations where your vehicle seems to have lost its performance characteristics. Ford vehicles use electronic throttle control, which means there's no physical cable connecting your gas pedal to the throttle body. Everything is controlled by sensors and motors. Over time, the system can lose its calibration, resulting in poor throttle response, surging, hesitation, or even putting the vehicle into a reduced power mode. The pedal reset procedure recalibrates this entire system. Here's how it works. Start with the vehicle completely off. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine, or press the start button without the brake pedal for push-button vehicles. Wait for all the dashboard lights to illuminate and then settle. Now press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and hold it there. Not partially, not most of the way, all the way to the floor. Hold it in this position for at least 10 seconds. Some technicians recommend 15. While you're doing this, the electronic throttle control system is learning the full range of motion for the pedal position sensor. After 10 to 15 seconds, release the pedal completely and turn the ignition off. Wait another 10 seconds with everything off. Now turn the ignition back on without starting the engine. Press the accelerator pedal to the floor again and hold it for 10 seconds. Release it, turn the ignition off, and wait 10 seconds. You're going to repeat this process one more time for a total of 3 cycles. After the 3rd cycle, start the vehicle normally and let it idle for about 5 minutes without touching the accelerator pedal. The PCM is now relearning the idle control parameters with the newly calibrated throttle system. Once it's been idling for 5 minutes, take the vehicle for a test drive. Start gently and gradually work up to highway speeds. During this drive, the system is learning your driving patterns and fine-tuning the throttle response. You should notice smoother acceleration, better throttle response, and elimination of any surging or hesitation you were experiencing before. This procedure is particularly effective on Fords with the EcoBoost engines, which seem particularly sensitive to throttle calibration issues. Why these resets work so effectively. Understanding why these procedures are so effective helps you know when to use them. Modern Ford vehicles are designed with multiple layers of fault detection and protective measures. This is generally a good thing. If your engine is overheating, you want the computer to limit power and protect the engine from damage. If a sensor is reading values that seem impossible, you want the system to throw a warning light rather than operating on bad data. However, this conservative approach to fault detection means the system sometimes cries wolf. A voltage spike during startup might trigger a fault code. A sensor might read a momentarily odd value during a cold start. The communication between two modules might glitch for a fraction of a second. In a perfect world, the system would recognize these as temporary anomalies and clear them automatically. In reality, many of these faults get stored in memory and trigger warning lights or protective modes even though the underlying problem is long gone. These reset procedures force the modules to clear their stored faults and start with a clean slate. If the problem was truly temporary, it won't come back. If there's an actual ongoing issue, the codes and symptoms will return. But at least now you know you're dealing with a real problem rather than a ghost code from a week ago. This is diagnostic gold because it separates real problems from false alarms. What problems these resets fix? Let's talk specifically about what issues you can expect these procedures to resolve. Check engine lights caused by evap system codes are probably the most common. Your vehicle has an elaborate system for capturing fuel vapors and preventing them from escaping into the atmosphere. This system includes sensors, valves, and pressure monitors that are notoriously finicky. A loose gas cap, a temperature change, or a brief electrical glitch can trigger an EVAP code. Proper reset clears these codes in the vast majority of cases. Transmission shifting problems are another huge category. Modern Ford transmissions, especially the 6-speed and 10-speed automatics, rely heavily on learned shift parameters. If the transmission computer loses these parameters or gets confused by a voltage issue, you can experience harsh shifts, delayed shifts, or refusal to shift at all. Resetting the system allows the transmission to relearn proper shift points and usually resolves these issues completely. Throttle response problems and electronic throttle control warnings respond incredibly well to these reset procedures. If your Ford suddenly feels sluggish, won't accelerate properly, or gives you a reduced engine power message, these resets should be your first troubleshooting step. Four-wheel drive system faults, traction control warnings, and ABS light issues often clear with a simple battery disconnect reset. These systems all communicate with each other through the CAN bus network, and a communication fault in one can cascade to the others. Climate control issues where the system isn't responding to inputs or is stuck in one mode often resolve with a reset. The HVAC module is just another computer, and it can glitch just like any other. Even things like power window problems, door lock malfunctions, and interior lighting issues can sometimes be traced back to the BCM needing a reset. When resets won't work, it's important to be realistic about what these procedures can and cannot fix. If you have an actual mechanical failure, no amount of resetting will help. A failing fuel pump, a worn-out transmission clutch pack, a cracked exhaust manifold, these are physical problems that require physical repairs. If your problem comes back immediately after a reset or comes back within a few days, you likely have a real issue that needs proper diagnosis and repair. Similarly, if you have a major electrical problem like a short circuit, damaged wiring, or a failed module, these resets won't solve it. They might temporarily clear the symptoms, but the underlying problem will resurface quickly. The real value of these reset procedures is in their diagnostic power. If a reset fixes your problem and it stays fixed, you just saved yourself hundreds or thousands of dollars. If the reset doesn't work or the problem comes back, you've learned something valuable. You know you have a persistent issue that requires real attention. The bottom line: the reason mechanics and dealerships don't advertise these procedures is obvious. There's no money in telling you how to fix your vehicle for free. Diagnostic fees, labor charges, and parts markups are how the business operates. I'm not saying mechanics are evil or trying to rip you off. Most are honest professionals doing a difficult job, but the business model of automotive repair creates an incentive to go straight to parts replacement, rather than trying free solutions first. You now have the knowledge to try these reset procedures yourself before spending a dime. In the majority of cases, particularly with dashboard warning lights and minor drivability issues, these methods will resolve your problem completely. Even if they don't fix it permanently, you've lost nothing but a few minutes of time, and you've gained valuable diagnostic information about whether your issue is a real mechanical problem or just an electrical hiccup. Try these procedures the next time your Ford acts up. Start with the gentlest approach, the key cycle reset, and work your way up to the battery disconnect if needed. Give each method time to work. Don't expect instant miracles. These systems need time to relearn and recalibrate, but more often than not, you'll find that your expensive-looking problem just needed a simple reset to disappear completely.